John chapter 18. I am he. The cast iron in the wood stove popped, a small metal tick against the dark. Outside, the gravel drive had gone quiet once the taillights from the last commuter cars washed over the pines and vanished. The weekend schedule was done. 3-ring binders and name tags sat stacked by the coat hooks near the door, but nobody around the low cedar table had moved to put their boots on. 7 of them stayed in the armchairs and couches, the coffee in the glass carafe gone black and cold. Elena traced the top margin of the open page with her thumb. He doesn't pause to let anyone breathe, she said. 17 ends mid-prayer, and the very next breath is Kidron. You don't even get a paragraph break to put your coat on. Walt leaned forward with his elbows on his knees, staring down at the grain of the floorboards the way he used to check a subfloor before laying plate. It's framed continuous, he said. If you build an addition and don't tie the rafters into the original ridge beam, the whole joint sags at the first hard freeze. Matthew and Luke give you the sweat in the grass and the disciples falling asleep. John skips all of it because he knows you've been sitting in the upper room since Thursday. The prayer is still hanging in the cold air when the lanterns show up. Torches, Samira said quietly from the armchair. A full Roman cohort and temple police coming into an olive orchard with iron lanterns to find one unarmed man who's been speaking in broad daylight all week. They brought enough fire to light up a quarry, and the second he speaks, the front rank hits the dirt. Tom shifted on the hearth bench. Just, I am he said. No calling down fire. He names himself, and the muscle backs up and falls. Then he immediately steps in front of the rest of them. Let these go. He protects the line, Priya said, turning her ceramic mug between her hands. We spent yesterday afternoon on the vine and the branches, talking about staying attached. Then Peter pulls an iron blade and takes off a servant's ear. Peter thinks love means swinging steel in the dark. And Jesus tells him to sheath it because you can't drink the Father's cup with blood on your fingers. David reached out with the iron poker and shifted a split piece of fur inside the stove, letting the red embers breathe. Look at the cutting back and forth, David said. Inside the house, Annas is running an interrogation on doctrine and followers. Outside in the courtyard, there's a charcoal fire because it was cold. John makes sure you know it was cold. A doorkeeper asks Peter one question, and he throws his allegiance away just to keep his hands warm. Same night, Walt murmured. Inside, the master takes a fist to the jaw for telling the truth in public. Outside, the lead man from the boat is standing with the guards, swearing he never saw him. Ruth sat still, her palms resting flat on the open pages of 18. Then the praetorium, Samira said, looking out at the black glass of the front windows. A Roman governor operating in administrative Greek, trying to balance provincial order against a riot. Pilate thinks truth is whatever decree settles the file. He stares the word in the face, mutters, "What is truth?" and walks out before there's an answer. And they choose Barabbas, Tom said. The man with blood on his hands instead of the one who washes feet. Nobody stood. The stove ticked as the coals settled down into ash. The lodge had gone dead quiet around them. But under Ruth's hands, the page stayed open, anchored and unresolved in the dark.